So people talk about working to death. When you're 65 years old and older, still working, still back breaking. And there's a couple stories here where they talk about people who actually died at their workplace due to being overworked, stressed, cardiac arrest. It's really sad. So let's hear what these people have to say.
I ain't gonna lie, if a nigga wanted to come to my crib and rob me, put a gun in my head, just pull the trigger, bro. Just pull the trigger. I'm broke as fuck. You ain't getting no money. I just paid rent. Bro, just fucking get it over with already. I'm tired of this shit. Like, dead ass, it's the first of the month. I ain't got no haircut or nothing. Nigga, I can't afford it. I can't. It already cost $100 just to go outside and breathe in this motherfucker. I'm like, God damn. It's like every time I turn my head, you got a bill. You got water bill, electricity bill, insurance bill, car note. Like, fuck, shit. So yeah, if somebody would have come to my crib and try to rob me, bro, you would be doing me a favor. Just go ahead and do it. I'm tired of this shit.
This is why you don't work more than you can handle. So this woman who was 40 years old, her name is Quita Cole, worked 7 days a week, overworked and burnt out, and she took a nap and never woke up after saying this. She said, I'm taking the next 3 days off, Quita needs rest. And then she never woke up, so she passed away. First off, I want to say RIP to this woman, man. Like, dying in your sleep, that's a sad way to go. But like, if you're going to overwork yourself, at least like try to get like a lot of rest, or at least try to take 2 days off. Like, don't even overwork yourself, man. I understand if you want to get to the money on and stuff, because we all need money in our life, but like at the same time we also need our sleep. Our health is important. But like, it can be a lot of reasons why she had to overwork herself. She probably got kids, probably in a tight spot, needed bills to pay. So we don't know her situation. I sure as hell don't. So I'm not gonna assume why she did that. This is the place that she worked at called QC Chicken. My guess is she was a cook or a cashier. Either way it goes, still a cool job to have. But like I said, RIP to this woman, man. And if you have a full-time job or a part-time job, please try to manage your work schedule, man. Do not let these companies make you feel bad for not working as much, man. That's what they want you to do. They want you to work, overwork yourself, and burn yourself out. Please don't do that.
One of my coworkers passed away this week at work. And it's had me reflecting on how I'm choosing to spend my time and how much of our lives we actually end up spending at work. And me and him used to chat all the time about, after. When I retire, he would say, I will do X, I'll do Y. And I wonder where I found myself getting caught up in that line of thinking, where we always think that tomorrow is promised and that we're going to have some sort of control over the way that things unfold, and we truly just don't. I imagine he didn't want to spend his last day at work. He passed away on his lunch break. And I've been doing a lot of philosophical reading and stuff like that, and I've also just been questioning, how am I using my time? Am I doing the things that I truly want to do? I think a lot of us have that. While I'm just here to get to the next step, I'm just here to pass the time and, build myself up so that I can XYZ as a stepping stone almost. And when he passed away, I was closing a deal. I work in sales. We sell cars at a car dealership. He had spent the majority of his life at a car dealership working 50, 60 hours a week. And guys from that generation, they like really embrace grind culture and like, no, you got to put in the hours and come in on your days off. And yeah, I'm like the opposite. I'm like, fuck that. I will not be coming in on my day off, because I realized that time is all we ever have is right now, is this moment. And it really hit me like a truck when he passed away, because I was in the middle of a deal and he was upstairs and paramedics were in the building and everything, and it was just tragic. It was just horrible. And to be working through that, I mean, it's like almost like it didn't even matter. Like life just goes on, like business just goes on. It's like we spend so much of our time at work that it really makes you question, like, am I spending my time wisely? And it's not even just time, it's like our attention. It's like, what am I paying attention to? What am I choosing to focus on? And I'm sure he came into that day not thinking he had much more time. He was about to retire. We used to have chats. I used to love just picking up small talk with him, and he was always a super kind, very, very sweet gentleman. And it just made me really sad, like super sad that he was that age and still working. And makes me think you know, I don't particularly love this job. Like, you know, I didn't envision myself working in this type of sales or anything like that, but I'm doing it, you know, because I tell myself I'm just trying to get to the next step and learn and do that, which is fine. But I guess you just really have to evaluate. So I guess the moral of the story is don't die working. Take your days off. Take your PTO. Find something that you can actually pour into and that gives you a level of satisfaction, because I feel like not just me, but so many of us are working jobs that we're just kind of tolerating, that we're just kind of getting by from. And not to say that, you know, everybody can do their dream job or passion. That's not the real world, but you have to find some bits or pieces that you find enjoyable, because if not, you know, this life can take you whenever, and it really opens up your eyes. Like, am I doing what I want? Am I actually spending my time and my attention focusing on what I want to spend my life and attention on? Because if not, it can so easily be taken from you. And yeah, it was just, it really opened my eyes and it made me think, and I'm like, shit, am I doing this the way I want to? You know, because so much of it's not just our time, it's our attention. What are we choosing to pay attention to? So yeah.
It is 8:09 a.m., June 23rd, 2025. And I am currently at a job that I don't like. It is not my passion. For years, I have done things, worked jobs, things that make me so uncomfortable, just to be able to pay bills and provide for my kids. I can no longer do that no more. It does not fulfill me. I'm such a creative person. I'm an artist. I rap, I sing, I can style, I can do hair. I'm such a creative person, and this 9 to 5, it does not show the creative person that I am. I am making a vow right now, today. I cannot live like this. I hate it. I'm gonna start putting me first. I'm not gonna deal with this no more. I'm walking out on faith. I'm stepping out on faith, excuse me. I'm giving it all to God, and I'm asking Him, please remove me from this. You know all my talents, and I'm willing to work to get there, Lord Jesus. This I just cannot know. I can no longer do this no more. It's breaking my spirit. It's dulling my shine. And I refuse to do it.
This 32-year-old software engineer in China just died from overwork. Worse yet, when the paramedics were trying to resuscitate him, he was still getting pings to get more work done. Shushu breaks it down. This is Gao Guanghui. He grew up poor in Henan province, worked his tail off to get into a good university, and landed a software engineering job in Guangzhou. And he didn't stop there. He worked up to a manager role and was earning $3,000 a month. Sounds great, right? But here's the catch. His base salary was only $400 a month, which meant that the remaining $2,600 was all based on his performance. It's no surprise then that he was working 996 hours, juggling 7 different jobs, and even had a mattress under his desk when things went 007. But eventually, he cracked. On a Friday, his boss assigned him 4 new tasks to be completed the next day. On Saturday, he logged in, but shortly after, he collapsed. His wife called Yao Erling, the paramedics arrived, and while they were trying to save him, he was pulled into another WeChat group to be assigned more work. Even after he was pronounced dead at 1 p.m. that afternoon, he was still being tagged in work messages.
Creation of the 9-to-5 job is the single biggest curse to women and to the sacred feminine. Working 9 to 5 was never designed for the female body. Not emotionally, not hormonally, not spiritually. Men are cyclical beings. Men operate on a 24-hour hormonal cycle. Women operate on a 28-day cycle. And across those 28 days, your hormones are constantly shifting, impacting a woman's energy, her focus, her creativity, her need for rest. But the 9 to 5 structure of corporate America that most of us are forced into demands a linear output every single day. And when the system demands the same energy, the same focus, the same productivity every single day, a woman has no other choice but to override herself, override her values, override her nervous system. And if you zoom out even further, you're sitting under fluorescent lights, completely and utterly disconnected from nature, forced to be separated from our babies and our families, all for corporations and companies that care more about your output than your well-being. Why are women expected and forced even to adapt to a system that has never once stopped to consider a woman's biology, instead of building systems that honor how a woman actually functions?
On the morning of July 15th, 2025, Hyo-won Jung, a full-time employee at London Bagel Museum, woke up exhausted in his company dormitory. Just that week, he had pulled an 80-hour shift because the company was opening a new store at Incheon and Hyo-won was helping prepare for the launch. That day was going to be another long one. His shift would start at 9 a.m. and wouldn't end until midnight. The next morning, his co-workers noticed that something was wrong. Hyo-won was always the first one up, but that morning, his door stayed closed. When they went to check on him, they found his lifeless, already stiffened body. Paramedics arrived 9 minutes later and Hyo-won was pronounced dead from cardiac arrest. He was 26 years old. The autopsy found no pre-existing medical conditions, nothing that would explain why a healthy young man would die in his sleep, except for one thing. He had worked 80 hours the week before his death. This, by the way, isn't an isolated case. In the past 5 years, over 1,000 workers in South Korea have died from overwork, an average of over 200 deaths per year.
America is a work until you die country. I just had a conversation with an individual because I'm looking for jobs, and this individual had my resume, and they were asking me, what is this gap here from this month to this month? That's when I was traveling, right? That's when I was actually experiencing life. So I took about 6 months and I traveled the year of 2025, and I told them this, right? I elaborated, and they go, interesting. And then when they were kind of reading back to me what I had said, they described it as a hiatus. I didn't really know, I've heard the word, I didn't really know the exact definition. I Google it. So it's a break or a pause in something, right? That's the loose definition. Can you explain to me how stepping away from the matrix, from the system, from this god-awful corporate nonsense country that we live in, to actually experience real life for just like 6 months out of my 27 years, they describe it as a hiatus, a break or pause in what? In what? Being an employee, being a worker ant? Like that's how they view it. They view like doing real life things as hiatuses, as a break or a pause from the real timeline. These individuals are twisted. It's not their fault per se, but they're grown adults that are just so warped because of the system that they grew up in and could never figure it out, that this is wrong, this is unhuman, this is bizarre. Like that's bizarre, you're bizarre, I'm not bizarre, I'm trying to be healthier, you're bizarre.
You know, I really don't believe that we are put here on earth just to work, you know? We're going to work for 65 years of our lives, 70 since they changed the rules, and we only get to live 13 minutes of our lives at the end. It doesn't make sense, you know? It doesn't make sense that we are working just to make a very minimum percentage of people become rich, the corporations, and we get nothing at the end. We basically just die, and they don't care about us. I believe that our purpose here is to please God and to serve people, but as long as we're living in a system, we're gonna need to rely on money and basically the corrupt system. We just have to go through it, and it sucks, but that's the way we have to live it.
Yay, finally, my day off. I can't wait to relax and enjoy. Oh yeah, wait a minute, that's right. I only get 1 day off a week, so I gotta use it for groceries, errands, chores, and pretty much anything else I gotta take care of before I have to work my life away for the next 6 days. And even if I had time, like, what am I supposed to do? I have no money. I don't even have money to go out to eat or hang out with friends. And even if I had money, where am I supposed to go? There's no fucking third spaces in this country. Everything is just mile after mile of parking lots, massive corporations, shopping centers, highways, private residences, condo complexes, and it's all soulless. It's all just designed to extract as much money, which is basically the equivalent of people's time, sweat, tears, soul, and hard work, out of us all as possible. It's ridiculous. Whether you have time, money, or neither, either way you're screwed. The parks are all closed. Everyone's in a shit mood because the economy's terrible, the housing market's terrible, and by the time we all get off work, we're too tired to do anything anyways. Like, what's there for me to do right now, really? Swipe and doom scroll my life away on meaningless, soul-crushing social media apps? go out and spend the last bits of my paycheck left over after bills on poisonous fast food slop that doesn't even taste good and that's not even healthy for your body anyways? Like, I'm just working my life away with no greater purpose. There's no reason to even be working. We're working to die.
I find it crazy how, like, we really be on earth just to work to death. Like, it's crazy because I be coming to work, seeing people that be doing doubles, and, like, when I'm coming, I see that they leaving. And then when I'm coming in after doing my 8-hour shift or my 9-hour and 45-minute shift, they're coming in or they're already clocked in to work. Like, my nigga, how much time did you get to go to sleep? Because if you had an hour commute, it's going to take you an hour to get home. Then you got to get in the shower. Then you got to get some time to woosah. After you woosah, you got to eat. You got to relax. You got to sleep. How much time you getting to sleep? This is why niggas is fucking miserable. This is why niggas is always pissed off. Like, I get it. But, like, something got to give. Like, why is it that? Just to see a little bit of coin. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I said this before, but me being as a Gen Zer, I just feel like it's more to life to just working your ass off until you old enough to retire. Because by the time you retire, you got health problems. Because you done stressed your whole life away trying to cook, clean, feed them for them kids. It's for them kids to survive because you had to work. Thank God I don't got no kids, Lord. Hallelujah. But shout out to the girls that's doing their thing with the babies. But anyways, child, I don't know. I can't do this shit. I can't do this shit. I see my life. I'm too hungry for this life, my nigga. I'm too hungry, as in, like, I cannot just sit on a job all fucking day. Like, I got too much going on in my life. Like, I just told my best friend the other day, I'm like, listen, I feel like these jobs is holding me the fuck back from doing what I want to do. I know it's so much people in this world that's creative, that know how to sing, know how to dance, know how to draw. But you stuck at a freaking job to make bread and you can't even explore your talents for real because you got to pay your bills. This life is crazy, man. We got to do something. Like, we have to do something about this. This is too much.
Bro, there's no way you're going to see me doing this shit for the next 40 years. Doesn't make sense to work 5 days, like 10 hours a day minimum, just to get 2 days off. The 2 days off go like that, and then you're back to work. And yeah, like, you're working hard, but by the time the next paycheck rolls around, you're left with like $100, maybe $200 to your name. Like, nobody can seriously sit there and tell me that, yeah, that's how I want to spend the next 40, 50 years of my life. Yeah, soft hands, but bro, like, you guys have to want more than this. Like, this is shit. This isn't living. This is just literally just surviving. It's fucked, man. Fuck this.
Let's keep it real. Retirement in America is not a plan anymore. That's actually a fairy tale. Retirement used to be the default. You know, you would work, you'd save, you hit a certain age, and then boom, you could sit your ass down somewhere. That was the whole deal. But now retirement is actually a luxury item. It's Gucci, it's Prada. Now it's only something rich people can afford. For everybody else, the new normal is working until your last breath. Punching the clock until they roll you out of that building in a box. I want y'all, listen, don't get it twisted, because none of this is by accident. The system wants you to work until you die. Why? Well, because if you never stop working, then the system never stops running. Your body breaks down, your mind gets tired, but the machine keeps winning. Think about it. Your whole life you've been sold a dream. Work hard, save your money. One day you'll be able to retire. Meanwhile, wages are stagnant, 401ks are a joke, Social Security is shaky, and the cost of living keeps eating every single dollar that you make. The dream has expired, but they still want you to clock in every morning like you're chasing it. It's generational too. It's not just you, your kids, same deal. They're going to work all the way into the end until they have no more life left. So the next time somebody asks you, when you plan to retire, this is what I want you to tell them. Retire? Baby, I'm on that work till you die plan. That's the new American dream.
I don't believe we were put on this earth just to work, pay bills, pay taxes, and die. It has to be more to life.
I often wonder if it's just me, but why does, like, work have to be miserable? Like, you wake up on a Friday, right? If you don't work weekends, and you're like, I just got to get through 8 more hours if your shift's 8 hours. I got to get through 8 or 10 more hours, and then I'm free for 2 whole days. I'll have 2 days off where I don't got to go back in there. But why are we like working at jobs where we don't want to be there? Doesn't it suck that we got to spend our whole life from the age of like 18 or 20 until like 65 or 70 now, because trying to raise the retirement age, and then you got maybe 5 or 10 years of health where you can still walk before you're in the ground? I think the whole system is like, it's not fair and it's not right. You got to bust your ass, pay taxes your whole entire life, and then have a couple years left before you're dead or unable to walk. Is that the American dream? Is that the way it's supposed to be? Is that the way all the other countries are? I don't think we should have to work till we're 65 or 70. I think maybe 50 is pushing it. Like, I got 1 more year, I'm 49. I wish I could retire at 50, but unfortunately, when you live in America, nothing's cheap and nothing's affordable. So a lot of people, they still got huge mortgages when they're in their 60s, and there's no way you can retire because you can't afford to pay the bills. You can't afford to pay the mortgage or the taxes, because when you buy a house in America, once you buy it, if you don't pay the taxes, they'll take it back and then you'll be homeless. So I don't know. We dread going to work and we dread Mondays, but why is life designed to be this way? It doesn't seem fair.
The American dream: to work till the age of 65, live paycheck to paycheck, and pay debt for the rest of your life. That's no dream, that's a nightmare.
Sometimes the most hardworking people, the most determined people, are the ones that are not the most rewarded. They are the ones who are mostly used instead of being rewarded. Sometimes you see people who barely put in work being rewarded the most. It's just the system that we live in. It doesn't reward hardworking people. It's not fair. We're playing a game that is not fair. And it sucks, but that's the way it is. We somehow need to find a cheat code, a way to cheat the system, break off the matrix, and actually live freely. I believe there's ways that are not illegal, because a lot of ways are illegal, but people gotta do what they gotta do because they know that the system is not fair. So, yeah, it's tough.
How are y'all dealing with the emotional reality of having to work for the rest of your lives? I genuinely do not know how I'm supposed to do this for 40 more years. I 100% believe I do not have it in me. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
There's no point of working anymore. Why would you work a job and still stay poor? Why would you work a job and help society when the people that are running the fucking show are a bunch of evil motherfuckers, bro? Are a bunch of evil people that were here to take advantage of the fucking poor. That's it. And you're working a job and falling into this system. These evil people that we're all fucking reading about now and all this news is coming about, those are the people who made the education system. Those are the people who made this fucking system that we're living in every single fucking day, where we wake up and trade the most valuable thing on earth, which is our time, so these people can spend their time doing evil. Evil! Are you fucking kidding me right now? Why would you work a job? Why? Why would you work a job knowing this? Everybody needs to stand together and stop going to work. We have the power because we have the numbers. We have more people here. But you want to know what they did? They kept us fighting. They kept us separated through politics, through fucking sports, through all this fucking disagreement. We have people fighting each other. If all the citizens came together and fucking realized that the people that are running the show are evil as fuck, then we can actually make a fucking change. Actually. But guess what? If no one's gonna do it, at least you take control over your life. I started making money only using this phone, so I have the freedom to fucking go anywhere in the world and I can still be fucking successful. And if you guys want to know exactly what I do, comment Vault and I got you.
Just be safe, find a career and a job and work it for the rest of your life. Just fuck off. I couldn't think of anything worse to spend my life doing, you goalless prick. If you think I want to work the same job over and over for a bunch of pricks who don't even care about me, you can think again, you twat.
In 15 seconds, should voters in their 20s plan on having to work until they're 70?
They should plan on their retirement age being increased, yes. We're going to change it to reflect more of what life expectancy should be.
So apparently working until you're dead is the new wave. So what does that look like for you? Share and save this video if you ain't trying to work from the casket. So Nikki Haley is saying that the age of retirement needs to move from 65 to 70. Now this is not a political page, so if you're looking for that shit, go somewhere else. We stick it to the bread. But it got me thinking. 30 years ago, retirement age made sense. At 40 hours a week for roughly 40 years, you can get a family, long-term job, crib with a white picket fence, and a dog named Buster. But with this, good lord! First off, it moves the age of early retirement benefits that more than 34% of people are on. So you might die before you even touch that bread they owe you. Those who take Social Security benefits early today lock in a monthly benefit of 30% less than what they would have had if they waited until full retirement. So if we move the retirement age to 70, you can expect another 8% on top of that. So nearly half your shit just gone. It also increases your FIRE number, which is the amount of money needed to sustain you in retirement. So that 2 million just turned to 3 real fast. You got folks working 40 hours a week, then driving Uber and getting freaky on OnlyFans just to afford high-ass health insurance. While corporations since COVID have been touting record high profits, the incentive for middle-class folk is going down faster than Meek Mill's career. Building towards a successful future is now more important than ever, because we ain't finna be clocking in from the grave. Share and save this video. You believe.
Why do so many of us in America look broke down by the time we turn age 50? I'll tell you why. We've been worked into the dirt. And see, every time I go out, I notice this. Our bodies are tired. People limping, backs hurt, knees shot, and feet straight busted. It's like people are walking billboards for what overworking does to the human body. And let's be honest here, it's not genetics, y'all. This is capitalism. See, in America, you literally work until your body falls apart. You ignore pain, you push through injury. You skip checkups because you don't have the time and you don't have the money. And then by the time you're older, your body cashes the check that your job wrote years ago, but then it bounces. Now, compare that to older people in other countries. You'll see 70-year-olds still walking to the store, riding bikes. Meanwhile, here, we got 45-year-olds moving like they're 90. And why? Because in America, see, your age is not just an indication of how long you've actually lived. It also tells how hard you've been worked. And you know the wildest part of it all? After all of that work, you don't have nothing to show for it. All the money you made is already spoken for. Bills, debt, medical costs, food, rent, mortgage, that money gone. So you gave your body and you gave your youth, and you don't even get any peace or security in return. So when you hear somebody ask, why do Americans look so beat down? It's not just age, y'all. It's a system that grinds you up, spits you out, and then blames you for not taking better care of yourself.
Look, you got people that look normal, just like you and me, you know, who do not want to be on this planet anymore, do not want to live this life anymore. You got so many people who say to themselves, and I see it in my comments, and I've even had those thoughts that, man, if I go to sleep and don't wake up, I'm good. Like if I go to sleep, I'm, you know, and it's not people that's suicidal, it's not people who need to be in mental hospital. It's people who just see this life for what it is. This is like, it's almost like Earth is a prison. It's a dual reality. It's the craziest, most horrific dual reality, because on one end of the spectrum, you'll see people living in peace. But if you look in places like Gaza and other places around the world like Africa, where women are having their breasts cut off and their clitoris is cut off, this is a very crazy world that we live in. And there are many people, man, that say, if I had to re-up and re-sign up for this world, I would never come back to this world. Like, this is not a world that you can even bring up your kids up in. If you don't have any kids right now, let me give you some advice. Do not have any kids in this world. One girl told me yesterday, she said in my comments, she said, most of us have kids for us, but we don't think about the kids. And that hit me hard, because when you're thinking about having kids in this day and age, and you want to bring them up in this crazy world, in this horrific world, where people are barely surviving and being murdered and killed all day. No, I don't want to bring another kid up in this world. I don't want anybody to have to suffer the stuff that I had to go through in this world. And I'm sure you don't either. Again, you got people all over the planet, man, who like cannot wait for their time to come. They go to work every day, take care of their families, but they say to themselves, if I go to sleep tonight and don't wake up, I am good. And you got a lot of folks, man, who say to themselves, the only reason I'm still here is because of my kids or my grandkids, or even people have said my dog, but I don't want to be here anymore. This is a very difficult world to be in, and this is a conversation that people don't like to have because I'm a person that's going to talk real talk. I'm never going to I'm never going to unalive myself. But at times I wish that, hey, if there was an exit plan for this planet, I'd be in it. If they ever said that if I ever left here and they gave me the opportunity to come back, hell to the no. I'm not coming back here. Because this place is sure hell. Whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, everybody seems to be suffering and going through with no relief in sight. You tell me who the hell want to come back and live here.
So my husband ran into Sam's Club, and I hope I have enough time to do this TikTok real quick. If not, I'll try to do it later. But anyway, I just picked my husband up from work. He had to run into Sam's Club. And on our way from his job to Sam's Club, we got stopped by a city bus, and I had to wait for the people to get off. And we noticed that several of the people that got off the bus had an obvious limp. And my husband said, damn, everybody limping. And I told him that this is what America is doing to its citizens. America is literally going back to its slave roots right before our eyes. Only instead of chattel slavery, it's now economic slavery. Because we are getting less for our money, we have to work harder in order to get the things that we need. That is why homes are unobtainable for a lot of people. People just can't afford them anymore. It's why some people a lot of people are literally dying from cancer because they can't afford the treatment. Healthcare is unaffordable. It's why so many babies are being harmed in daycare because people can't afford quality daycare. Because that shit's expensive. It's why less people are going to college. And scholarship money isn't there. It's why you can't afford to take your family of 4 to the movies or even to McDonald's anymore. The nation is increasingly becoming unaffordable, and we are trying to outrun that. We are becoming tired. Our bodies are breaking down. We are getting sicker, and we can't even afford to be sick, and in more ways than one. America is becoming oppressive for everyone at this point. And if you cannot afford quality of life, you will not have it. This is America.
You know, it's called work-life balance for a reason. Because you're supposed to balance your work life with your personal life. And I have been a respiratory therapist for 10 years. And as much as I love my career, I am not going to allow the profession of respiratory therapist or any hospital that I am working at to kill me. There was a doctor that died at work at one of the facilities that I worked, and this happened a while ago. And this man stepped off the unit, and they started calling his phone, and he wasn't answering. So after a while, when he wasn't answering, somebody went to go hunt him down. They found this man dead in his office at the hospital. And when they touched him, he was cold to the touch, meaning he had been in his office dead for a while. And don't allow yourself to be fooled or tricked into thinking that there's some big, beautiful prize at the end of working yourself to death for any job. They may even recognize you. They may say your name in a ceremony, but at the end of the day, you are an employee and you were given an employee number. Treat it as such. When I am at work, I am there 100% to do what I was hired for, which is the profession of respiratory therapy. And I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to take care of my patients. And if my shift happens to be short-staffed while I'm on the clock, I will deal with it because I am already on the clock. But what I am not going to do is allow myself to be harassed, called at home, and begged and harassed to come in to cover for a shift that is already short, that I'm not responsible for working. You have a lot of these managers that want you to give your life to the hospital. And some of them will get an attitude when you don't pick up shifts or you don't pick up overtime. I wasn't hired for that. I wasn't hired to work myself to death. But at the end of the day, these jobs don't care about you. They care about what you're able to produce for them. Treat it as such. When I'm there, I am absolutely going to do my job. I'm going to do everything that is required of me. But when I'm not there, I am going to enjoy myself away from work, which is what I'm supposed to do. Again, work-life balance. Bye.
I strongly believe that people were not meant to work 5 days a week. I just find it hard to believe that people can fully recharge in 2 days, because you spend at least one of those days trying to catch up on everything that you didn't get to do while you were at work, and then one day actually resting if you get to do that. I think the max working week should be 4. I think corporations, capitalism, and hustle culture have absolutely ruined everything, so now it's impossible to have a good work-life balance.
Sometimes you compare yourself to a homeless person you see on the street, begging for money, begging for food. Who is actually living life? That homeless person that you see on the street, painting, drawing, dancing, singing, enjoying his life, happy, while you're miserable, behind bills, working your ass off, you're overworked, you're stressed out, and you can't seem to find passion. You can't seem to be fulfilled. You can't seem to find happiness, while that homeless person can get by with a little food, with a little shelter, with the little friends of his homeless people. He's living adequately while you're living in a lackful situation. I believe that too much of everything is bad. And as a normal human being, we don't need everything in the world to be satisfied. We just need an adequate amount. We just need a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we be good. That's like the perfect sweet spot. You know, we don't need everything in the world to be fulfilled, to feel satisfied. But really, compare yourself to that homeless person. Who is really living life? You or them? That's it.